A mouse accidentally activates a robot. The mice get scared and run away. The robot had been ordered by someone, but it had fallen into a forest. As it powers on, the robot says, "How can I assist you?" However, the mice do not understand its language. At that moment, the robot falls into the water and drifts with the current until it crashes against a large rock and reaches the shore. As it looks around, it sees a massive wave approaching. Seeing this, the robot tries to climb a steep rock to escape, but it keeps falling. Then, it notices a crab climbing up easily. Observing the crab, the robot imitates its movements and successfully climbs to the top. The crab and the robot both reach the top, and the robot picks up the crab to scan it with its machine. However, just then, a bird swoops down and takes the crab away. Now, in front of the robot lies a lush green forest. As the robot enters the forest, the animals are astonished to see it. The robot tries to approach them, but the animals get scared and run away. The robot wants to help them, but it cannot communicate with them. The robot then asks a squirrel, "Did you order me?" But the squirrel does not understand. Meanwhile, a mouse is gathering wood nearby. The robot approaches the mouse and asks, "Do you need help?" The mouse gets frightened and runs away. Then, the robot chases after a deer, wanting to help it, but the deer kicks the robot hard, sending it tumbling to the ground. None of the animals want to talk to the robot because it does not understand their language. Feeling helpless, the robot sits down and activates its chip. Days pass, then months, and gradually, the robot learns the language of all the animals. It can now mimic every animal's voice and move like them. One day, the robot stands up and approaches the animals, saying, "My name is Rozen. I can talk to you now. Tell me, how can I help you?" But before anyone can respond, a buffalo charges at the robot and knocks it down. The robot stands up again, but the animals are still afraid and keep their distance. Disheartened, Rozen decides to leave. It climbs the tallest mountain and activates its headlight, preparing to depart. But suddenly, a powerful lightning bolt strikes, and Rozen falls back into the forest. Its parts are now damaged. A little while later, Rozen extends its long arm to grab the mouse but accidentally grabs a large bear instead. The bear roars and slaps the robot hard, sending it flying. The robot runs for its life but suddenly falls and lands on the edge of a cliff. When it gets up, it sees that a bird has died because of it, and its eggs have also broken. The robot tries to put the broken eggs back together, but they do not fix. Then, it notices one egg that is still intact. Scanning the egg, Rozen sees that the baby bird inside is still alive. Slowly, it picks up the egg in its hands. But suddenly, the egg is gone. Looking around, Rozen sees a cunning fox running away with it. Immediately, Rozen chases after the fox. After a while, the fox suddenly stops, and both the fox and the robot fall off the cliff. The fox thinks that Rozen has fallen to its death, but suddenly, the robot extends its arm, grabs onto a rock, and climbs back up. Rozen had many abilities. It catches the fox, and in fear, the fox places the egg on the ground. But just as Rozen reaches for it, the fox quickly grabs the egg in its mouth. Rozen lifts the fox by its neck, but the fox forcefully spits out the egg and throws it far away. However, the fox is so clever that it leaps and catches the egg again. But this time, it lands on a thorny animal, and sharp thorns pierce its body. Rozen secures the egg and, instead of punishing the fox, starts removing the thorns from its body one by one. Rozen proves that doing good does not make one weak. Suddenly, Rozen feels movement in its hands. The egg is cracking. Rozen carefully tries to stop it from breaking, as its job was to protect the egg. But then, the baby bird hatches and emerges. Rozen watches in amazement. The baby bird looks at Rozen and considers it its mother. But Rozen does not understand emotions like love or pain, so it gently places the baby on the ground and asks, "How many points out of 10 would you give me?" The baby gets scared but then climbs up and breaks Rozen's light. Now, Rozen cannot leave. The baby clings to Rozen, and Rozen places it among the mice. But the baby mice get scared upon seeing it. The mother mouse asks Rozen, "Is this your baby?" Rozen replies, "No." Then, the mother mouse says, "Then it must have seen you first and thinks you are its parent. That makes it your responsibility to raise it." Hearing this, Rozen agrees, because after all, it had received an order to do so.